Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Luciana Turner. I'm your host of the LT&A Contractors Chatter. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get this party started. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Facebook, Instagram, and on Friday, I go live on Clubhouse in addition. I'm still trying to go live on Instagram on Friday as well. But by adding Clubhouse and quite frankly, one of my devices dying and I haven't replaced it yet, Clubhouse kind of replaces Instagram on Fridays. But the replay is available on Instagram. And chatter is that up level conversation around government contracting. And I had somebody tell me they didn't understand what I meant about up leveled. Contractors chatter is a conversation around legislation, appropriations, procurement. We talk about the business side. How does a contract become a contract? We talk about the things, all of the things that affect the business side of government contracting. We go beyond the basics of NACE codes and finding opportunities and just have that industry-wide conversation that you just don't, quite frankly, I haven't heard anywhere else. I hear a whole lot of what do I do once I find an opportunity, but I don't hear a whole lot of what shapes and what transforms, what affects the industry. So once again, interesting. So I am your host. I have about 20 years experience in government contracting, a majority of which was spent in compliance. And compliance is basically where you do the internal checks and the external preparedness or proof that demonstrates that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. However, I go a step further and I define compliance as also that initiation or that sustainment or that development and implementation of systems that allows you to adhere to the rules and regulations of the industry in which that you're operating in. So I talk readiness, I talk sustainment, I talk scalability. So let's get this party started. Apparently there is the excuse me. Apparently there's a new government website coming out, or rather, it's not a new website. They're redoing the website, and it's all a part of the government's modernization of IT. Acquisition.gov is where you will find all of the regulations for government contracting. That's where they house FAR, which are your federal acquisition regulations. Now, every agency isn't bound by FAR. I want you to understand that. Civilian agencies aren't bound by FAR. State governments are not bound by FAR. And that is a distinction that needs to be understood because that's just a distinction that needs to be understood. However, if you're looking to do contracting on the federal level and you're looking to do contracting with, quote, military or non-civilian agencies, you need to be familiar with FAR. Well, they're updating that website and they have something called betaacquisition.gov out. I'm still playing around with the site. They're trying to make it more user-friendly. Searching FAR is a pain in the behind if you're not already familiar with FAR. I will tell every government contractor you should become familiar with it, but you still should have access to consultants and and lawyers who are government contractors, government contracting attorneys that are familiar with it to help you interpret and apply FAR to your case. So this IT modernization, the government is serious about it. It's affecting every area of government. Excuse me. It's affecting every area of government. All of their websites, all of their electronic interface is being updated this government year into the next government fiscal year. So yes, and as I play around with it, where I do like the fact that it makes the updates stand out a lot more and a lot prominent than the other website did. This one, they kind of put their in your face. And there is a new FAR clause being proposed. Actually, a new FAR clause went into effect January 14th that affects DOD, GSA, and NASA. And I'm going to read a little bit more and then report back on it on Friday. So watch out for that update coming Friday. Homeland Security they haven't taken over because they was always responsible for pandemic response. However, quite frankly, with them not passing a budget and with the government only passing these continuing resolutions, and quite frankly, Homeland Security taking over President Trump, I believe they called it wildfire program. When they took it over, they didn't have the staff and they didn't retain the old administration staff. So they've had a hard time managing the pandemic response. And I want my audience to understand something. Pandemic response means the reporting. It's inclusive of reporting. So all of the data coming out is not timely. I remember participating in a webinar or attending a webinar where I can't remember his title. They were basically saying they were hiring analysts because they didn't have enough analysts to go through the mountains of data, sift through it, analyze it, report on it so that they could submit timely reports. And that's part of the problem. And that is the problem that they're having. So I'm going to tell my audience, be a solution. We know that's a problem Homeland Security is having. And if you are in position and you have a compliant system and you know how to talk the talk and walk the walk and shape the opportunity, this is an opportunity for you to walk in there and pitch your company as a solution to the Department of Homeland Security, because they definitely have a problem. And I do believe the president has said they need $18 million to get through the short haul, and it's being tied to the infrastructure bill that will allow them to staff up and get where they need to go to handle the reporting, the logistics, and everything along with the pandemic reporting that Homeland Security is supposed to be doing. And I'm having real problems this morning with my throat, but I digress. And I want to end this morning. This is going to be a short broadcast this morning. I want to end this morning on this topic of being and positioning yourself as the solution. And it's amazing. We're already at the end of January. Wow. Next week is the beginning of February. The second Tuesday of February, the president submits to Congress the budget for the next fiscal year 2023. Shortly after that, we will see forecasts from every government agency begin to drop or released to the public. This is a time to begin to look with a forward eye into what kind of opportunities you should pursue as a government contractor. And I've always said this before, and I will continue to say this. Government contractors must keep their eye in the present and in the future. It's just the way we operate. We operate in the present with our current contracts and current opportunities. But once you get up and operating in full steam ahead, you keep one eye in the present, but you always keep one eye in the future, because that is how you shape your strategy. You have to stay future focused. So with that said,